Imagine waking up one morning, and overnight, someone had drawn new borders across your entire country, without asking you. That's exactly what happened in Africa during the late 19th century. European powers carved up an entire continent, almost like it was a giant game of Risk. But why? And how did it happen so fast? Today, we are breaking down the scramble for Africa. Before the scramble, Africa wasn't an unknown wilderness. It was home to powerful kingdoms like the Ashanti, Zulu, and Sokoto Caliphate. European presence was mostly limited to coastal trading posts. But by the late 1800s, things were about to change. The Industrial Revolution had given Europe new technology, steamboats, railroads, even machine guns. Suddenly, African resources weren't just interesting, they were incredibly profitable. Gold, diamonds, rubber, and ivory, Europe wanted it all. Enter the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 85. Imagine the world's most exclusive club meeting, but instead of discussing politics, they're literally drawing borders on someone else's backyard. European powers, Germany, Britain, France, Portugal, and Belgium met in Berlin to decide who gets what. They didn't invite a single African leader. The goal? Avoid conflict among themselves while securing as much land and resources as possible. Here's a shocking fact: by the end of the conference, Africa had gone from about 10% European control to almost 90% in just 20 years. It was the ultimate land grab, and it all started with a handshake and some colored pencils. So, why the rush? There were three big drivers. Economic, Europe's industrial engines were hungry for raw materials and new markets. Political, colonies were status symbol. More land meant more prestige and sometimes more strategic military bases. Ideological, the era's civilizing mission, often called the white man's burden, was used to justify domination. Colonizers claimed they were bringing education, religion, and progress, but in reality, it was often exploitation and forced labor. Think of it like a modern-day bidding war, but with entire populations and their lands on the auction block. European nations were racing to stake claims before their rivals could get there first. The scramble wasn't just lines on a map. It tore apart communities, ignored ethnic boundaries, and created tensions that still affect Africa today. Families were separated, traditional leadership structures were disrupted, and violent conflicts erupted when communities resisted. For example, the Congo Free State, controlled by Belgium under King Leopold II, became infamous for its brutality in rubber harvesting. Millions of Congolese were forced into labor, and many paid the ultimate price. These events remind us, the scramble for Africa wasn't just political, it was deeply human. Even today, the effects linger. Many modern African borders were drawn with no regard for ethnic or cultural divisions, contributing to conflicts and challenges after independence. The Berlin Conference may have ended in 1885, but its consequences shaped the 20th century and beyond. It's a stark reminder of how decisions made in distant rooms can ripple across the globe for generations. So next time you look at a map of Africa, remember, those borders weren't always there, and the story behind them is one of ambition, greed, and human resilience. Europe may have redrawn the continent in just a few years, but the people of Africa lived with the consequences for centuries. If you found the story eye-opening, hit that like button and subscribe for more history explained in a way that's easy to follow and, yes, sometimes shocking.